Pardon my little breakdown right there. I have a bit of a bug right now, so if there's any more instances of me doing that, or if I just sound different, that's why. So yeah, it does suck being sick. However, it's not all dark and gloomy. Since my throat is weird, I can do things such as
talking like this. This is normally something that I can't do, so thank you, sickness. Very cool.
But anyways, now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I can get into what you guys are really here for, you know? Bugs, insects, creepy crawlies, arthropods. The list of slurs can go on, but for the sake of convenience, we'll be referring to them only as bugs. Bugs have developed a reputation for being weird, stinky, and stupid, and as a result, a lot of people have a fear of bugs. If you don't believe me, then allow me to remind you that the man depicted in this picture here made mustard gas to try and kill a cockroach he had already trapped in his bathtub. That's right, a trapped cockroach that wasn't going anywhere drove Moist Critical into such hysteria that he didn't think twice when a fan told him to make mustard gas. So that should prove my point, and if it doesn't, well, I mean, you're watching this video for some reason, and I doubt that reason is me explaining enemophobia, so we're just gonna move on. So I personally think that people shouldn't be afraid of bugs, and that is a bit weird coming from me because I will admit I have cowered from a bug once or twice, but that doesn't stop me from realizing that bugs are pretty cool, and the same goes for the attributes they've developed over the years. Bugs are very unique because they've developed very diverse mechanisms to defend themselves, to capture prey, and among other things, and that's what I intend to cover. Bugs and the characteristics that I have deemed unique. So with all that filler out of the way, let's talk about the Creatonatus gangus. I have no idea if I said that correctly, but whatever the case, this guy is a moth that, when faced with a female specimen, presents 4 hairy tendrils. These 4 tendrils are called chromata, and they send chemicals out into the air that serve as an aphrodisiac. Once the female gets a whiff of said chemicals, couple that with the sight of those sweet, sweet chromata, and she can't help it. She feels the urge to dance. So yeah, dancing rituals are cool and all, but what about defensive techniques? Well, fret not, because that's where my boy the Floiodes Diabolicus comes in. Imagine this. You have horrible enemophobia, and then this tiny little goofball approaches you. That's right, the diabolical ironclad beetle. That's right, you're not dealing with just any ironclad beetle, you're dealing with one of the diabolical variety. You run to your pantry only to realize that you have no more bleach and ammonia. This means you won't be able to make mustard gas this time around. With a heavy heart, you then turn around, only for him to continue standing there, motionless. You feel as if he's mocking you, although you can't say for certain, because you're not a bug and you don't understand him. You grab the nearest bowling ball and drop it on top of him, only for him to crawl out, looking more diabolical than he ever has. Now, with tears in your eyes, you lure the guy under a ceiling fan. You then grab a knife and cut the ceiling fan off of the roof. For a moment, but mind you, only for a moment, you are relieved. But then, something horrible fills the air, and you feel an evil presence approaching you. You turn around and see him crawl out, unscathed. If he had a mustache, he'd be twirling it right now. As I just described, the ironclad beetle is known for its hard shell and high levels of durability. Ironclad beetles can support a maximum of 33 pounds, or, if you're not American, 15 kilograms. And even then, they can survive a lot more than that. If you step on one of them, they can just walk away like they have a 9 to 5 to get back to. Because of how durable the ironclad beetle is, entomologists actually have a hard time displaying them. So I'm sure that a good amount of people are aware that entomologists are very big fans of crucifying bugs. To go about doing this, entomologists will use these things called insect pins, which, as the name implies, they use it to pin their bugs down. Because of how hard the ironclad beetle's shell is, entomologists will actually have to use power tools to put a hole in its shell before they can actually pin it down. Personally, I wouldn't want to go through all that rigmarole just so I can crucify my bug. But I mean, if bug crucifixion is a recurring theme in your dreams, then I think you should go for it, man. So from defense to offense, I think we should talk about the dung beetle. Dung beetles are so strong that they can pull 1,000 times their own weight. That means that relative to their size, the dung beetle is the strongest animal in the world. Seeing that dung beetles usually weigh about 0.75 ounces, that means that they can pull close to 50 pounds of weight. For reference, a bowling ball weighs about 15 pounds. No matter how much research I did, I couldn't find out how much a pizza pan weighs, but so for convenience, we're just going to say that they weigh 5 pounds. If pizza pans do weigh about 5 pounds, then hypothetically, a dung beetle can pull a pizza pan full of 3 bowling balls. I'll be completely honest, that doesn't seem possible to me, but I mean, if my research is correct, then it should be possible. If I am wrong, feel free to politely explain why I'm wrong in the comments. Or, I mean, I guess you don't have to be polite, you can just threaten me and then just take out all your life's hatred before threatening to come to my house and eat my cereal. Either way works for me, but do whatever you want, you know? Whatever the case, after hearing of the dung beetle and its feats, you might be sitting there thinking, "Oh, bugs and their offensive capabilities are pretty cool. A lot of them are so strong." And I'm here to tell you to stop typecasting because strength isn't the only offensive capability that bugs can bolster. And that's where we enter the bombardier beetle. Bombardier, bombardier. I don't know how you pronounce it, but whatever the case, I'm going to use all of them. The bombardier beetle gets its name from the way that it sprays boiling chemicals at any bug foolish enough to challenge it. The way it's able to commit such crimes is by using 2 reservoirs in its abdomen, one containing hydroquinone and the other containing hydrogen peroxide. When the 2 chemicals mix, it starts a reaction, and the resulting gas from said reaction drives the ejection from its abdomen. The reaction also produces heat, which brings the mixture close to the boiling point of water, which, as we all know, is very hot. So yeah, all the bugs I've mentioned are pretty unique and different from one another. However, different as they may be, they all share one common thing. And the thing that they share in common is the fact that all of them have to go through a larval stage before gaining access to their respective superpower. Having a larval state is something that most, if not all, of bugs go through. And in this larval state, bugs are usually a lot weaker than their adult counterpart. But then one tiny goofball came along and he declared, "As long as I am a baby, I will be powerful." And so, the antlion was born. Antlions will spend 3 years in their larval state before they mature into an antlion lacewing. After maturing into a lacewing, it has 30 days to complete the bug subsection of the wildlife bucket list. Even then, I'm sure that 30-day lifespan is boring. I mean, just look at it. 30 days to fly around, dance, engage in other bug activities. It's lame. But once you take a look at the antlion larva, you realize, hey, this guy has 3 years of being cool to look forward to. Antlion larvae, who are sometimes lovingly referred to as doodlebugs, will dig up funnel-shaped holes in the ground and bury themselves in the center, with only their mandibles sticking above ground. As bugs approach the sand trap, they'll start slipping on sand and sliding down towards the center. The antlion will emerge and then start flinging sand at the bug, which will either stun it or cause it to slip further. After the antlion catches its prey, it drags it below ground where it then sucks the life out of it. After finishing with its prey, it then flings the husk to the outskirts of the sand trap. It will then rebury itself, where it will then await the approach of a new bug, and repeat the same process with it. Anyways, those are all the bugs I will be talking about today. Trust me, I'd love to talk about more, but the way I make the script for these videos is I have a little journal that I take to school with me, and whenever I have free time, I just write down whatever I can think of. And usually when I'm writing them, I try to restrict myself to only 4 pages, and I just hit 5 pages in this, so I broke the law for this one. But self-inhibitors aside, I really do appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me. And if you feel that you've enjoyed this at least a little bit, you know, like, subscribe, anything you want. I'm not gonna force you to do anything, you know, for Generally, if you're forcing someone to do something, it's probably illegal, but regardless of what you decide to do, thank you again for watching, and tune in next time where I send my dung beetle to fight that pesky gerbil of yours. Thank you again, and have a good day.